Time now for some live Q&A. Everyone be like Q Taylor. Use hashtag Cowboys to get your questions on the show. Makes it a lot easier for producer Alicia to find them. He wants to know about some potential Byron Jones replacements. We will do a video on that, I promise you. We'll do some in free agency, and we'll do some in the draft. I think in the end, the draft makes the most sense for the Cowboys. So I'm thinking players like Kristian Fulton, the other Ohio State kid, Damon Arnett, C.J. Henderson, Jeff Gladney out of TCU, Trevon Diggs as well kind of jump out to me. But we will do a full video on that, Q, so make sure you are subscribed. The other way to get on the show, well, Super Chats help as well. Zeno's saying, I am sick of hearing about Tom Brady and getting rid of Dak Prescott. Dak's way better. His numbers show it. And remember in 2016, everyone Dak to the... I don't know what he's going to finish there. Let me see if I can find it in the chat. But it just stopped. All right. I'm going to pretend Dak to the future. So, because that sounds fun. But I agree. Dak Prescott is better than Tom Brady. It is 2019. It is 2020. We're not getting 2015 Tom Brady. The quarterback we saw in 2019 and the one we're going to see in 2020, he's better. He's just better. And by the way, if you were to get Bill Belichick to answer honestly, he'd take Dak Prescott too. All right, Snake Bit. Tom, do you think Dak is worth being a $200 million man, or do we look elsewhere? Well, I mean, it depends over how many years. If the question is if it's over 5 years, it becomes $40 million. No, that's too much money for me. Every man has their price at some point. I'm not paying Dak $40 million per year. Unless it's like an 8-year deal or a 7-year deal, which allows it to make more sense, I'm not doing that. If it's a 6-year deal, I'm in. That's 33 and a third. I am totally on board with that. And maybe that's where the issues here come in the Dak Prescott discussions, that it's not quite clear what the money ends up looking like in terms of not so much the per year, but the details, the when it kicks in, the bonuses, all that, and of course, most importantly, the total length of the contract. All right, next up, Tom, what do you think if Dallas gets with the first-round pick, Xavier McKinney, and J.R. Reed with the second-rounder? I could live with McKinney in round one, but if I've already taken one safety in the first round, why would I take one in the second round? I don't really see the need to take two safeties within the top 52 picks when I already have a good one in Xavier Woods. I got all kinds of other needs, and frankly, I don't really think J.R. Reed is worth a second-round pick. So I could get on board with McKinney, not J.R. Reed, though. All right, Shakes the Finest. Have you seen Dez working out on Twitter? He looks way faster now. Dez has, well, you guys laugh. I actually agree with him. Dez has dropped about 10 pounds. When he first started posting those videos, that was like, he looks slow. Well, he wasn't in shape yet. Dez does look a little bit faster. He's never been he was a great athlete for his size, but he's never been like a Tyreek Hill caliber speed guy. Again, as I've said before, 1-year deal, no guaranteed money. There is no harm. A lot of guaranteed money, guaranteed role, not so much. All right, Billy Bob Jean with a That 70 Show photo. Would you rather have Byron be next for an extension or Cooper? Tough one. The Cowboys are going to approach it as Amari Cooper. The issue for me is that when I try and build out my roster and I go through scenarios, I have to figure out, okay, how am I going to replace this particular player? I think it's easier, not saying it's easy, but it's easier to replace the receiver in the draft when you have a really good one in Michael Gallup than it is to replace the cornerback in the draft when your next best option is Chidobe Awuzie or Jordan Lewis. So, as weird as it might sound, and I don't think the Cowboys are going to approach it this way, I actually might prefer Byron. Now, Byron's going to be expensive, but so is Amari Cooper, and I'm a big fan of Byron Jones. I know a lot of you guys aren't because you just get focused on interceptions, and I understand that. But I think it's easier to replace Amari Cooper than it would be to replace Byron Jones instead. Now, you guys here can cast your votes as well. I would venture to say most of you will type in your C's, and I understand that. I think I'm definitely in the minority with that viewpoint, but I've always made the point about not letting go of Dak Prescott because I don't know how to replace Dak Prescott. There's no easy path for me to actually do so. I at least see paths and scenarios for Amari Cooper. There are paths for Byron Jones as well, but I think it's easier to replace Cooper, even though I know you're all going to type in C, and I certainly understand that. David Smith, the best cornerback in college, and no one's talking about Bryce Hall from Virginia. David, you don't follow me on Twitter, @WhatGoingDowney. How far does he drop due to his injury? Can he come back 100%? Bryce Hall doesn't fit every scheme because I have some pretty big concerns about his true top-end speed. I hate it when we say zone is a euphemism for can't play man-to-man. It's kind of the case with Bryce Hall, though. I think he'll be a better fit in a zone when he's not asked to carry receivers way downfield that are faster than him. But he was a playmaker at Virginia. Didn't have as many plays before his injuries. I think he goes at some point on day 2. I think he's a classic Blue Star special. Bring him in. If you can get him in round 3, I don't think you can, but if you can get him in round 3, I love that idea for the Cowboys. All right, Ginger Beard. Keep Sean Lee. I say yes. You have Jalen Smith. You have Leighton Vander Esch. You still need depth, though, especially with LVE's neck woes and Jalen Smith's, I'll call it, regression from last year. But those are still your top 2 guys. I love Sean Lee's veteran leadership. I love what he brings on and off the field. I think he's a no-brainer number 3 option. And if there are injuries, he can help out. And if he gets hurt again, well, then you're not paying him all that much money. JB King, if we lose Byron Jones, should we get a safety or cornerback with our first-round pick? I think part of it depends on what else you do at those positions. If you come in with, you only have Awuzie and Jordan Lewis amongst your other guys, you almost kind of have to go corner. Because I can't enter next year with Awuzie Lewis and a second or third round pick. That's not going to be good enough. At safety, I can probably, and you should sign somebody else too. So I think the likely outcome here is that if you lose Byron, you're targeting corner in round 1. Oh, we got a trade idea. Okay, we'll get to plenty of trades later on. C1, L2, D3. How would you feel about trading with the Jags, picks 20 and 42, and in return we give 17, 49, and whatever our 5th player would be? No, because why am I moving down several picks in a couple picks in round 1, which the value chart said it's about 100 pick difference there, to move up in the middle of round 2 from 49, which is actually 51, is what the Cowboys pick has. I don't get where you getting. Well, they have 51 to 42. I'm doing math here. Hold on. Oh, I guess it's about right actually. Interesting. Huh? I didn't do the math very well beforehand. Yeah, let's do it again. How do you feel about trading with the Jags, 20 and 42, and in return we give 17, and it's actually pick number 51. It does kind of work out pretty close. The Cowboys aren't getting enough value back. I would say no, because I don't think moving up 7 picks in the second round is quite enough to justify moving down 3 picks in round 2. I would prefer to trade down with the Jags and then just get one of their later round picks. So you guys can cast your votes there, because I didn't do a good job of doing the math in my head when we first started. Yeah, I'm also not giving up that 5th round pick either. So I say no. You guys keep your votes coming, and I see mostly ends in there. Guys, Valentine's Day, hope you didn't forget. Because if you did, you're going to be in big trouble. Chatsports.com/flowers. That link saves you 15% off flowers and gifts. So not just the flowers there, but all types of sweets bundles and cookies and chocolates and all that kind of stuff there. It's chatsports.com/flowers. That link, 15% off everything on the store there. And by the way, I got you guys covered. It is in the comments and it is in the description of this video. So all you guys got to do is click and shop. Devin Frost wants to know if Jeudy, Delpit, and Fulton are the best players on the board. Who are you taking? I'm crossing Delpit off that list kind of quickly. Fulton fills a bigger need for me. But Judy's the better player. Even if Amari's on this roster, I can throw out Amari Cooper, Jerry Jeudy, and Michael Gallup. Screw defense. I'm going to score all the points. So I'm taking Jeudy in that scenario. I know there are many of you guys out there who want Henry Ruggs at 17, I think I might take a corner over him still instead. But of those three, I doubt Jeudy's there. I'm taking Jeudy, and I'm going all offense. And then the rest of my trip picks are all defense. All right, Billy D, how much time does Dak have left in Big D? I don't think he's going anywhere. Like, I think that's the route the Cowboys go. You just get your quarterback signed. If you're trying to win right now, I still think Dak presents the best option for you. Miguel Rodriguez, what do you think about the Jalen Hurts rumor? I have not heard about that rumor, so we'll have the production staff see if they can find out what you're talking about exactly. I think if he fell in the third round, I would take him. We never have a decent backup, and who knows, maybe he learns to throw better. I appreciate the value of having a good backup quarterback. I think Jalen Hurts can be that guy. But backup quarterback is not more important to me than trying to find a potential starter or a rotation player at the defensive line or pass rusher or at corner or at safety or at tight end. So, no, I'm not going to take a Jalen Hurts in round 3 on the hope that, he's a decent backup who maybe learns to throw better. It's not the route I want to end up going. Now, folks, we are on the verge of hitting 50K subscribers here on the Cowboys Report. Now, we'll make this a community post, too, so we can get the subscribers' votes. Only vote if you are subscribed, of course. What should we do once we hit that 50K? What should I do? What do you want me to do? I will not be shaving my head, just so we're clear. All right, that is a fake story developed by Mitchell Renz, designed to attack the integrity of the Cowboys Report. It was all bullshit. It was made up. It didn't exist. All made up. So what should we do? Someone says do a face reveal. I don't know what that means. What is that? You see my face every day. I don't know what that is. I see a lot of dye the hair blues. That one's not a huge surprise to me, and that maybe it'll be on the table. We'll get some more votes in here, and then we'll decide down the road. But once we hit 50K, we'll do something. Shout out Valerio, who just says shower. I do that every day. Young Wilson. Cowboys take a big defensive tackle or safety in the first round. If Javon Kinlaw and Derek Brown are off the board, I think safety is the one that makes sense there, because the next best option is Ross Blacklock, Devil Gallimore, Jordan Elliott, not Raekwon Davis. He's not very good. I'm not going DT if one of those top two guys are off the board. If it's safety, well, then I think you're looking at options like a Xavier McKinney or a Grant Delpit. I think corner makes a lot of sense for this team. But of those two options, again, thanks for this super chat, Young. Safety is the route I end up going. All right, Michael Henderson. What do you think about letting Dak walk to sign Brady? I will continue to make my point. Why would I get older and worse at the quarterback position? The current Tom Brady isn't going to give you the best chance to win a Super Bowl that Dak Prescott does. So at that point, I've gotten reduced my chances of winning one, and I've got an older player who's going to be gone in 2 to 3 years. That's not the route I'm going. So I think it's a really bad idea for the Dallas Cowboys. And frankly, if Brady leaves, it's not like you're going to be saving that much money anyway. It's not like you're getting Brady for $10 million. You're still going to be paying him a pretty good amount of money. Aaron Ray, hey Tom, doesn't it make sense to put the franchise tag on Dak, pay Amari and Byron, and sign as many in-house players as we can? I think signing players makes some sense. The problem is, if you franchise tag Dak, all it does is end up costing you more later. So, like, you franchise tag him now, then you revisit that conversation next year, the price goes way up. So if you don't get a long-term deal done with Dak Prescott, it might save you a little bit of money now. You'll pay all that and more later on once you get that extension done. So I get where you're coming from, and it does make some sense. We'll go over a different idea later in the show that I think might make even more sense for the Cowboys as it relates to those three guys. DJ Sixfo, free agent targets. DJ, my friend, we have that video up on the channel. 25 in total across all positions, and we got defensive tackle free agent targets as well. So go check out the channel. That video is already up, my friend. We've gone over quite a few. I will make note, as I've made the past couple of years, they're not going to be super active in free agency. That's not their MO. I don't think that ends up happening. Billy Bob Jean, do you believe Dak will lead this team to a Super Bowl and win someday? I certainly hope so. I felt pretty good about their chances this year. Then everything fell apart about as badly as it could have gone. The defense regressed, and the coaching staff was not great. I do find it interesting, by the way, that Chris Richard's still looking for a job. Funny how that ends up working out. I will say this, because Super Bowls are tough to win, guys, but Dak gives you your best chance to actually win one. The other options out there, I don't think they're as likely, and it's not a guaranteed thing. I don't hope I'm not indicating that at all, but you're taking a bet here. Yeah, it's a risk because you're paying a lot of money and you're about to lock in your core, and that's kind of terrifying. But I think the guys you have right now are some of the best options, and Dak Prescott gives you that best bet to win a Super Bowl within the next couple of years. Now, today's show is brought to you by BetDSI. Speaking of bets, obviously no NFL games, but you can bet on the XFL, you can bet on college basketball, the NBA, all kinds of stuff on BetDSI. That promo code Cowboys120 gets you a 120% deposit bonus. That is chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code Cowboys120. That gets you that 120% deposit bonus. I also want to shout out Young Wilson for his super chat. Thanks for all the hard work. Appreciate it. DC for life. Thank you, Young. I greatly appreciate that. And as always, feel free to throw in DC for life in the comments section. TKG, what do you think Jerry meant by a splash in the draft? TKG, you missed rumors. It's okay. Not everyone can come in at once. Jerry never said this. This was a report that somebody had said that Jerry wants to make a splash in the draft. The problem is, that report did not come from within the Cowboys organization. I can pretty much guarantee that. So it's speculation from people around the NFL. The other part is, every single year, that rumor pops up. Every year we go, geez, Jerry might want to make a splash in the draft. I think Jerry's a little bit preoccupied with figuring out free agencies. Now, the speculation was a trade up. I don't think it makes a lot of sense. I don't think you're going to see a trade up. It's possible, but I think that is reckless speculation for a team with multiple needs. Probably better off not moving up in round one. Skate Park, imagine Coop, Gallup, Dez, Jarwin, and Moss, and Zeke and Pollard. That's a lot of weapons. I assume you mean Thaddeus Moss there. So that's actually, I guess, one of my issues here. You can only play 5 of those guys at a time. You're not going to pull Zeke off the field unless he taps himself out again. You're not going to pull Cooper and Gallup off the field. You're probably not going to pull Cobb off the field. So then what do the roles become for Dez, Jarwin, Moss, and Pollard in the end? You're not giving them that many snaps, and at that point you have to wonder, well, geez, we know Pollard can help on special teams. That's helpful. Dez, that's not his role anymore. We'll see what Thaddeus Moss does. It's a lot of weapons, but do you actually end up maximizing them? Are you better off using that money or draft pick, maybe a defensive player? Now, speaking of Dez, would you give him a shot? Go and throw up the X for yes, or type P for pass. I'll get a drink here as these flow in. X for yes, P for pass. As I've said before, there is nothing wrong with giving him a 1-year deal with no guaranteed money. And if that's how you define a shot, sure. I also don't want to tell you guys that Dez is going to come back and be the prime guy that he was. I think that's pretty unrealistic at this point. But maybe he surprises. Maybe he carves out a role somewhere, or there's an injury in camp. At that point, totally worthwhile. And he's been working out pretty well. Looks like he's in better shape. No harm in that 1-year non-guaranteed deal. But the Cowboys, I doubt they make any decision until they get through free agency. Miguel Rodriguez, some rumors the Dolphins might cut Rashad Jones. Would you sign him or Eric Berry if they take a low contract? Again, I'll start with Rashad Jones. If he's cheap, I'm interested. Not at a trade. He is way too expensive to trade for. That does not make sense for the Cowboys. If he does get cut, well, that one is a little bit more intriguing to me. I think that's an option there as a strong safety. Eric Berry, I say yes if he's healthy. He can spin it however he wants to spin. He didn't play in the NFL last year because he wasn't healthy. We will see if that's actually changed. All right, Pascal, do you think the new CBA agreement will increase the cap? That's a good question. I don't know what the CBA is going to do. I do think it's noteworthy that the way the Cowboys have structured their extensions is that they've kind of backloaded these deals a little bit. Now, they're kind of limited because they can only backload them so much. There's a 30% rule for all new contracts. Well, there is no new CBA that means you can't have a wildly backloaded contract every year going forward and only increase by 30%. That makes it a little bit tougher. But there's kind of a cap hit rise around 2021, 2022 for a lot of these deals. That's interesting to me. And I wonder if Jerry Jones, who actively involved, has a better feel for what that price might look like. Zeno's saying, is it possible to trade Aikman for Romo to Fox? CBS says no. I mean, it is technically possible. It's right now CBS versus ESPN, but it is possible, but I don't know why CBS would let Tony Romo go because he's awesome. And he's getting paid a lot of money, and that's why he was never going to come back and coach. Now, a lot of your questions, I know we didn't get to all of them using the hashtag Cowboys. I'm sorry. If we did not, hit me up on Twitter. I'm on there at WhatGoingDowney. You can tweet me or DM me, and I'll be sure to reply to your questions, and I'll try to be as nice as humanly possible as well. So hit me up on Twitter at WhatGoingDowney. Hey Cowboys fans, thanks for watching the Cowboys Report. If you haven't already, click right here to subscribe to our channel for all the best Cowboys coverage on the internet. That's news, rumors, highlights, mailbags, film studies, and a whole lot more. And I'm making your lives a little bit easier as well with the next Cowboys Report video right here.